407 years ago, our forefathers and fathers before them started on a Suzuki Samurai 1.6 liter 16 valve swap. And today I'm going to continue the journey. That's right, part 3 of this build, 27 days in. Three years later. Kevin was hooking up some wiring last night. I got the fuel hooked up. Got the power steering hooked up. About to put that header on. All right, don't forget these 2 grounds that are on the back of the engine. They just go on the plenum there. Boy, that Doug Thorley header really sets it off. Oh my God. We're coming right along. This thing is looking good. All right, so I got that header in, and I think we're just gonna use this exhaust for now. I just need to get a collector and hook it up. It's got like a little glass pack, and it's 1.5 pipe back. I got the clutch hooked up. And I'm still working on where I'm gonna put the fuel pump and everything. But it's really close. We're about to start this thing. Okay, we are running our fuel lines and mounting our fuel pump. We have our new fuel line. Okay, so we're gonna mount the fuel pump on the frame rail right here. And we're gonna use the old filter. And so we ran, this is the old fuel line that goes up to the engine, and we're using that as our return. And I just put a filter in there because it's an adapter to go from that size to that size. And Kevin's about to put some self-tappers in. We're gonna hook this sucker up. Okay, we're a lot closer. Got the power wire going to the fuel pump. Got it grounded. And about to run the final hose to the filter. Okay, I just put in the gauge cluster. It's all bolted up. All the wiring is pretty much settled. Kevin's been working on throwing some oil in. Just found a new PCV valve to throw in there. Still a filter on this thing. Got a filter. Yeah, I need to throw some plug wires on it and get the timing right. We're gonna try and crank this sucker. All right, 1, yeet. The firing order on these 16 V's is 1, 3, 4, 2. Throttle cable isn't hooked up. And that's number 4?
Yeah.
All right.
1, 3, 4, 2.
Right. Okay.
We just need to get our little connectors to hold this all nice and
Sure.
nice
Yeah,
and
that'll
neat.
come with the... Okay, we're almost there. Just hooked up the starter and and it wouldn't crank over. It was doing the clicky start thing. But I took the starter out and put it back in, and now it's cranking over. So, all right, we've been messing with the starter quite a bit, and we found out that all of this wire stuff that's going on. He's got a push button start because it's got the clicky start issue in the ignition. So I'm gonna give her a try, Kevin. Yep, we still got quite a bit to do. We got to do the whole coolant system, and we need to check fuel pressure. I don't hear the pump either. So, all right, a little bit more messing around.
It probably doesn't have any fuel yet.
You might be right. Yeah, I hear it too. Oh yeah, I can hear it. All right. Yeah, our fuel pump's going. I know. Should. Okay, we're not getting fuel. Hear the fuel pump running, but not getting fuel, so Kevin's looking for fuel cans. Put a couple of gallons in it, give her another swing. All right, Kevin.
Trial and error.
Day 87 on this build. All right, so tonight we discovered that maybe our fuel pump that he sourced from somebody else isn't sucking.
It's not sucking it. It ain't cutting it, that's for sure.
It's not cutting it. So
We got no fuel at the rail, so there's no point in even trying to start it. We wanted to get this thing fired up today, but yeah, until we have fuel at the rail.
I'm gonna hit it tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow, and we're gonna get another fuel pump. We're gonna try again. One more again.
Battery charger, is it we got?
I think we got enough
we got
battery.
enough juice?
Let's see if she cranks over. I don't know.
Ignition on.
Might need some timing.
Dude, that thing sounds freaking badass.
With that open header?
Yeah. Whoa.
Yes, sir. We might just leave it like that.
Yeah. There you go, Kyle. You got a race car now.
That was first start.
Yeah.
All right, we finally got it started. We were having a problem with the fuel pump being I don't know, maybe it was defective. Yeah, that's the exact same thing happened to Kevin.
Yeah.
His was defective. So I went and grabbed another fuel pump, brought it over here to try it out, and then I immediately broke the positive stud, just undoing it from the factory. I guess they put it on there with an impact, and
A 1/4 inch nut.
I know. So then I went and grabbed another fuel pump, and that one's pumping fuel so good that we have a fuel leak. And it sounds rowdy with that open header, but she's running. Yeah, it's got a vacuum leak somewhere.
It was responding to spray right there.
I know. All right, so we've got it all hooked up, and we got coolant in it, and I think we have a vacuum leak on that gasket right there. Okay, I got it running. God dang.
That was a long day.
That was a long ass day. we got it running. The exhaust is welded up. Everything's hooked up. I need to put an O2 sensor in it. Need to finish putting in the intake. The mass airflow sensor needs to be hooked up. Need to hook up the power steering belt. I don't know, a couple little odds and ends, but it's running. Starts right up. O2 sensor's not hooked up, so it sounds kind of loud. Cranks right up. Woo. Probably need to tune the timing a little bit. Horn blows. Does the driver? Okay, it's the next day and I'm back on it. I'm hooking up a few odds and ends. And of course, you know, today I got some help. The plan for today is to kind of clean up some of this wiring and put the air filter on. I just installed the O2 sensor and wired that in. Basically just a lot of cleanup. Hook up the mass airflow. I've got to cut and weld this little bracket that holds this on. And then I have a bunch of wiring I need to clean up underneath here. So I got a couple of hours worth of work and I think I'll be starting this sucker here pretty soon and maybe driving it out of the shop. Sounds a lot better with that O2 sensor in. All right, now I need to build the bracket that holds that on there. I guess this might be of some interest to some of you, but this is that bracket that holds your air breather, that stock air breather. And what I've done is I've cut it. I've cut the bottom of it off. And on the stock manifold, there's two bolts where that bolts in. Well, with a header, it won't work. So what I've done is I've used the side, this side of it, I've cut it off, and I'm gonna install it on this little air breather plenum. And then I have another piece of it, and I'm gonna stick it in there and weld it up, make it into a bracket. Mine's just got one piece that goes straight over, it's just welded in. And so I'm basically gonna do the same thing and probably just chop this off to where, you know, it'll still hold your wires and it'll just kind of be a clean look. Okay, so you can see that bracket's been chopped off, and I've got a piece of metal from that bracket that I'm going to weld in there like that. So I'm gonna get my welder out, I'm gonna tack it in there, and then I'll take it all apart and then I'll weld it up outside the vehicle. This should give you an idea of what I got going on. So that thing mounts to a 10mm bolt right there, and then a couple of 12mm, like 3 of them, hold that bracket to this plenum and it keeps it stable. So I just cut the bottom of it off and then I flipped a piece and I tack welded it. I'm about to pull it out and weld it all the way. But you can see what I did. I just brought it down because it won't even reach the bolts to the header. On the stock manifold, there's a couple of places for that to mount, and it's no longer there with that header. Okay, so I just welded that bracket or that piece onto there, and I'm just gonna take the grinder and kind of clean up. Like, I'm gonna chop this off about right there, and then just kind of grind down some of these like pointy edges. Sorry about that, but there's the bracket. All right, y'all know what time it is. About to paint this thing up. A grinder and paint make me the welder I ain't. Well, it starts right up. Sounds like I have a little vacuum leak over here in that head, or it's down inside there. I can't tell if it's like one of the injectors or something, but it cranks right up. Sounds pretty good. Timing should be perfect, but if I let off this idle, it wants to die. So I got some diagnosing to do. I think it's just like a vacuum leak or something. Something's leaking air, I can hear it. Anyways, I think that's a wrap for this week, guys. I'll come back Monday and do a little bit of diagnosing and see if I can't get this thing to run reliably. It starts right up, it's just, I think I have a vacuum leak. So I'm gonna diagnose that and maybe we'll get you some rolling shots and stuff next week. But I'm gonna wrap it up right here, guys. I appreciate you watching my video. Thanks for all your support. And I hope this video encourages you to do the 1.6 liter 16 valve or any of the other swaps into these little Suzuki Samurais. It's a fun little project, and I hope Kyle is able to show up next week and take it out on his first run. Anyways, thanks for watching my video. You ready to go home? I think Mama's waiting on us.